Kia ora tiwi, and welcome to The Chew,
The Chew.
where we get to chew the fat off a random kaupapa. Anei ahau ko taika mao ko kori.
Kia ora.
And today, wano, we get to chew the fat off our up-and-coming Opikitanga class.
Opikitanga.
Yeah, so our first class for the Level 6 Opikitanga class through Te Wānanga or Aotearoa, in conjunction with the Southern Institute of Technology, SIT,
Yes.
that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Kicks off on Monday. So,
Monday.
Hika, excited? What are your expectations, etc.?
Yeah, real excited, bro. Real excited. You know how excited we always are to not just talk te reo, but to learn new things. Practice. Just practice. But this one is going to be a little bit. Well, my expectations are that it will be a bit of a step up from our previous one. So, just to paint a picture for the whānau out there that are listening, so Te Wānanga or Aotearoa, they have a program called Te Ara Reo Māori, which is the pathway to the Māori language, or, it's courses in Te Reo Māori. And the way it works is, as an absolute beginner, when you do the full year, that's considered to be level 1 and level 2. So the full year, level 1, level 2, from an absolute beginner, you learn all the basic sentence patterns, pronunciation. Then you move to year 2, which is level 3 and 4. And that one's a bit of a step up. You get into more concept-related things rather than just rote-learned words or phrases. You're actually starting to learn about the concepts of sentence patterns. And then after that year, you go into the third year, which is level 5. And that one is named Rōnakitanga. So Rōnakitanga, level 5, Te Ara Reo Māori. So that one is really starting to really learn how to speak and learn how to what we call whakawhiti kōrero, which is have a conversation backwards and forwards with someone. And yeah, that was our last year's course, bro. So we finished that one last year, and and we loved it. So in the first 2 years, there was only ever a single noho with a couple of wānanga, day-long wānanga. Noho marae is a marae stay, typically for a whole weekend. So that all changed last year when we did our level 5, bro? And we had 8 noho marae over the course of the year. Woo! And man, that was wicked. Me and the bro Taika in particular, all of those that are listening that were on our course, we were the night owls. We would stay up till like 3 a.m. just talking, conversing, fixing the world. So, that's how me and the bro made quite a connection, just doing all these deep and meaningful conversations at our noho marae, and we had 8 of them, so 8 weekend-long marae stays over the course of about 10 months, I think. Yeah. So now, what we're starting this kōrero off about is the next year that we're going into. So this will be our 4th full year of Te Ara Reo Māori study, and the name of this course is Opikitanga. So we're really looking forward to that, bro?
Absolutely. And it's been a pretty long journey for quite a few people. I was lucky enough to have a little bit of reo from my high school days. I did 6th form, if anyone remembers that, and school certificate, 5th form. I think that's a year 11 and year 12. But
that's right.
So I joined in the year 2 or the level 3 and 4 class. But there have been people that have come through the year 1, year 2, year 3, and now into year 4 o pikitanga. Whoo! So, there's quite a number of us here in the Tahuna region, as well as, in Cromwell, Alexandra, I believe, some from Wanaka. So we've got quite a big group coming from all facets of this rohe to come together to, do Rōnakitanga last year and then Opikitanga this year. So exciting.
Opikitanga, yeah. And so just to tell paint a little bit of a different picture for both of us as individuals on this journey. So you didn't do level 1 and level 2, did you, bro?
Kyle, I was lucky enough to be allowed to come into the year 2. Had to do like a pre-assessment first, which wasn't that difficult, but missed the first year. So
kei te pē he koe, no he koe. If you could answer those, you're pretty much in year 2.
Yeah. A, e, I, o, u.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, am I correct in saying that you've just gone from your year 2 straight to your year 3 and now straight to your year 4? Pretty consistently.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. Back to back.
Yeah.
So
back
I was
to back.
quite lucky. Yep.
Very, very lucky. So to paint a different picture for me, much like the bro Taika, I didn't do level 1 and 2. So I didn't do that first year either. I went straight into the year 2, which is the level 3 and 4. But I didn't complete that until, I did that course in 2016. And just to go on a bit of a rant, not a rant, but a bit of a long-winded explanation, but one of the common problems that we have here in the Queenstown region is that after people have finished level 1 and 2 and then go into level 3 and level 4, typically there aren't a lot of people who are looking to go to that next level, level 5. And Te Wānanga o Aotearoa and SIT, they won't create classes for very small numbers. They need larger numbers of people in order to create a class. So we had this vicious circle of creating, getting people to come through the system, finish the first 2 years, want to go to the year 3, but there weren't enough people to create a class. So, and by the time you'd run a whole full year class again and found some more people to go into the level 5, the people from a year ago had forgotten everything they'd learned. So they would be like, oh, I'm not doing level 5. I can't remember any of this stuff. So we had this constant cycle of not having enough people to create a level 5. So what myself and a few others did is we got together and said, look, we really want to get to a level 5 class, and if we have to keep revising year after year after year to keep ourselves at a level until we can go and say, can we have a level 5 class, we're going to do that. So we spent, God, how many years, bro? 3-4 years. So I spent like 3-4 years revising, catching people who come out of a year 2 class who wanted to go to a year 3 class, and we would catch people, revise. And by the time we got to Taika's class, we had heaps of us, eh? We had about 25, I think, that went into our level 5 class, which is the year 3 class. So we actually had enough people to go to Te Wānanga o Aotearoa and ask them to give us a level 5 class, and they did. So some of us had been hanging around for years waiting for the chance to go into a level 5 class, and then people like Taika just had to walk straight in and went straight to their level 5. But I think, for me personally, I actually enjoyed going through that 3-4 years of revision because it really helped to strengthen my understanding of the basics. So much so that we ended up creating a beginner Te Reo class here in the region because of it. But yeah, anyway, I didn't want to go on too much about it, bro, but I just wanted to sort of paint a picture that we had two quite different pathways to getting to this level 6.
Yeah, the Ronakitanga class was waiting for me, I think, so that's probably come around. But yeah, like I said, we had a number of students in our class that had waited 4 years for that Ronakitanga class, and like you said, luckily Te Wānanga Aotearoa had a kaiako who would travel up to Queenstown and run that class for us. So, matua Rusty, big mihi out to you for doing that.
Awesome, matua Rusty. We loved his class, man. Jeez, he was such an awesome kaiako.
Aye.
Funny, really funny, and just made it real easy for a lot of our group who was scared to go into that level 5. They really thought it was going to be too hard for them. But yeah, matua Rusty made it so much easier for everyone.
And I suppose what I enjoyed most about the noho is, and I learned this previously in my year 2, was that's where you really start to grasp those concepts and really push past that whakamau, that shame, to be able to try and just get that reo out, whether it's right or wrong. It just forces you to just put it out there. So having 8 noho to do that, to be immersed in Te Ao Māori, kai, waiata, karakia, kōrero, all those aspects of Te Ao Māori was just, amazing, and, put us both on a really good pathway to, hopefully one day fluency. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're on a really good track to fluency. I mean, you could argue we are fluent, but I have this conversation with people sometimes about matatau and how you define matatau or fluency in te reo. So, because I'm a bit of a, I don't know, I overanalyze situations, and I came up with this definition that said, well, technically, if you're able to converse with someone, then you're fluent. And you might not be able to understand everything the other person says, but if you can talk to them, you're fluent. But I talk to others that say, no, to be matatau, you really have to understand all aspects of the language and be able to understand everyone's version of the language. So I think it's a long, that's a high bar, bro? But yeah.
There are many versions around Aotearoa, at a iwi level, at a hapu level, so all right.
Yeah, so I would be comfortable saying that I have conversational Māori, that I can whakawhiti kōrero, but there's some whai kōrero I listen to that I still get lost in places, because there's some concepts that I'm just not quite I don't quite know yet. Yeah. Yep. And iwi dynamics, you have to know other iwi to understand the names that they say, the relationships between iwi based on those names. So there's just so much to learn, eh?
Yeah. The different meanings certain words can have, like it could mean one thing generally to most Māori people, and then you go to a specific iwi and then it means something totally different.
Yeah. Man.
Which can catch you out sometimes.
Oh, it catches you out, eh? Catches you out so often.
Stories, we had this kōrero just recently about Ngā Rauru, and the tupuna Rauru.
Oh, yeah. And I know the Rauru story from where I come from.
Yeah.
And his whakapapa is slightly different according to the people from Ngā Rauru, and I didn't know that. So it's there's those things you think, oh, I'm going to make a connection and join myself to you through your ancestor Ngā Rauru. And unbeknownst to me, I quoted a whakapapa that is ours, but it's not the person's that I was connecting to. So I was like, no, I shouldn't have used that one. I should have used your one, So, yeah. Always stumbling and falling when it comes to doing whai kōrero.
But that mistake, or I wouldn't say it's a mistake, because that's that iwi's version, and as we've had many kōrero, there are many versions across many different iwi, even hapu. Within the iwi they have different versions. So that'll be anchored now. It
would have been more correct, eh? in hindsight, I was like, why didn't you go and find out their kōrero? Yeah. So it's good. Being on this journey helps to open your eyes to realise there's other ways that you should be doing stuff. Yep. Yeah. Yep. And to do more research and to prepare yourself better. So, yeah.
And I think we're so lucky, and I can't speak for other classes because, I haven't been in the other classes around Aotearoa, is we've got such a diverse group, diverse with tauiwi, Pākehā, with even Māori from around Aotearoa.
Yep. Mātāwaka, yep.
Yeah. And we've had that opportunity to hear different mita, Ngāi Tahu, Ngāti Parau, Te Taia Wauru, Taranaki,
yep.
Ngāpuhi. We've been exposed to those unique dialects, unique ways that iwi does things, that I think it's just broadened our mātauranga or knowledge, even further by being around those different people.
Absolutely, yeah. Nailed it, bro. Because I think, being a really proud Ngāti Parau person, I still know that even within the bounds of the Ngāti Parau takiwā, or, the land area, there's just not as much opportunity to listen to other meta or dialects, to meet people from other iwi. I mean, I'm sure you do. There are people from other iwi living within that boundary. But a place like Queenstown is a place where there are more Māori here than people realise, but there's still not a lot of Māori. And the few Māori who are here are from everywhere. And we all... there's not a lot of fluent speakers here, but there's enough. There are enough fluent speakers here to hear all the different dialects and hear all the different kōrero and stories. So and we're a really tight bunch for people who are not from this region. I think Māori in general just stick together really well down here, and that includes the mana whenua down here. Some of the people in our group, actually quite a lot of them in our group are Ngāi Tahu, and we all just sort of get along, and we're all keen to achieve the same thing, which is learn our language and learn our culture.
And a lot of the noho that we had, like we had 8 noho last year, and having such a diverse bunch allowed us lots of time to have some real deep conversations about where they're from, their particular uniqueness of their, not only iwi, but where they're from. Like, we've got people that whakapapa or link back to Italy, quite a few from the UK. Kia ora, Alice. UK, England, just locally down here. So they were great opportunities to connect with those people and get a deeper understanding about where they're from, what are some unique things that they do, whether that's within the iwi or where they're from. But sort of coming back to the Ronakitanga kōrero, obviously we had the 8 noho, but it'll be really good to give everyone a bit of an insight hika as to that process, I suppose, about Ronakitanga generally. Obviously, this kōrero is supposed to be going about what we're aspiring to for Aupikitanga, but hey, we've just completed that course, so it might be a really good opportunity to provide everyone some insights about, that last year, what it's all about for anyone that's a bit, mataku or scared, whakamā, to jump into the year 3. Hopefully the students in the year 3 and 4 or level 3 and 4 class now might want to jump on there next year, and they might be able to run one. So yeah, over to you, Hika. Give us some insights.
It's well worth it. So the main objective of Ronakitanga. Oh, so sorry. I have to say there are 2 different delivery styles for Ronakitanga. So we only obviously did one of them. We did the one that had a single night's weekly course of 3 hours, And then we had 8 noho throughout the rest of the year-long course. That is one delivery style. The other delivery style, from memory, they have 2 classes per week, and they have wānanga maybe. They don't do the full 8 noho version. Our 8 noho version we loved. We just thought it was a fantastic way to do it. Yeah. As long as you can commit yourself to a 1 weekend a month for roughly 10 months a year, and I guess the thing that was noticeable to me that I didn't expect is we really practiced quite extensively all the same sentence patterns that were learned through level 1 and 2, level 3 and 4. So level 1 and 2, level 3 and 4, those are the first 2 years. You learn lots of sentence patterns, but it's very difficult to speak effortlessly using those sentence patterns. You're given the building blocks. Rōnakitanga was the opportunity to learn how to speak those particular sentence patterns. So there's not a lot of focus on learning new sentence patterns. We do learn a few new sentence patterns, but that's not the main focus for the year. The main focus of the year is certainly to practice and be encouraged to learn how to speak those language patterns we've already used in a whakawhiti kōrero way, or a conversational way, being able to have simple conversations with each other using all of those sentence patterns. Now, part of testing your ability to do that were the aromatawai, or the assessments that we did. And those assessments were doing research and doing delivered kōrero about a given topic. So quite different. It wasn't a, get a piece of paper and go A, B, C, tick, and write answers in boxes. These assessments were going away to do some research, coming back and constructing a story or a kōrero and delivering it in class. So Rōnakitanga was the real application of all of those sentence patterns that we learned, and encouraging us to speak in a conversational way. So I guess that kind of summarises it, bro. How do you feel? Was Rōnakitanga anything more than that for you?
It actually gave me a lot more, but on the surface level, that was pretty much it. And a lot of these assessments or aromatawai, like you said, there was a bit of research. You could present that information on a projector or PowerPoint. It all had to be in Te Reo Māori.
Yeah.
So you had to speak the reo to present that assessment. There was so there were 8 of them. I know we did Tau Tohe Tohe, which was a debate, which was probably one of my most favorite assessments.
That was fun. That was so much fun.
Yeah. So for those who know about the R and O category, you can go to Taringa. They've got a podcast which explains that. They've got 2 of them, so jump on there if you don't know about that concept yet. And we had a really good debate. We got into groups, so it was a group assessment, which was great. So some of the senior tauira or students could help out some of the others that were struggling a wee bit. And we got together and had a debate between a number of our groups, which was fantastic.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed some of the wānanga or discussions that we had separate to the course during our noho. So we would have some really interesting discussions as a group. One simple example subject that I remember very, very clearly was your feelings about getting tā moko, about getting a moko kauwai for women and a mataora for men. So, the classic sort of argued point of, should you be able to speak Māori? Like, what are the requirements in order to get a moko kauwai or a mataora? So that was a good conversation. Because we're probably about half of our half of our class would have been non-Māori. You know, they offer insights, and I guess most of the time, because we're talking about things that affect Māori from a very traditional perspective right until the modern perspective, we're opening the eyes to a lot of our non-Māori students as well, to see, sort of get a peek into how Māori agree and disagree with each other on these types of heavy subjects. Loved it.
But I'll tell you what I really enjoyed the most out of the noho was, you know, the kai that they put on for us. Holy mackerel. Typical Māori fashion, you know, we had 5 meals a day to iwi, you know. We had parakuihi or breakfast, which was about 8 o'clock, so me and Corey would only have like 3 or 4 hours sleep from being up till 4 a.m. And then we'd have morning tea, so they'd put on another spread. Then lunch was usually a full cooked breakfast again, afternoon tea, then dinner with pudding. And then with pudding. With pudding. No, and then we'd usually have supper with tea, biscuits. And,
supper as well.
Keke
you don't forget supper. And so of course,
if you're on a bit of a diet at iwi, then you know you just got to watch yourself when you're hitting these noho.
Yeah. Because of course, you know, most of the time our wānanga, bro, was in the wharekai. So, you know, you're sitting in the wharekai, you've got the coffee right there, there's always a spread of biscuits and cakes, you know, and of course you smash all the chocolate ones first, and then, you know, once you get to like 1 a.m, you're like, oh yeah, those arrowroot biscuits aren't looking too bad right now. So you start eating some of the other rubbish ones instead. Yeah. But another great thing for me personally was the opportunity to practice mihi whakatau, whai kōrero, in a really safe space too, because here in the Tahuna region we don't have a marae, and we don't have many hui that we're able to attend to, you know, see whai kōrero or mihi whakatau in action. So when we were at the marae having to do pōwhiri or mihi whakatau for our classes or any new students coming in, that was a great opportunity for the students to get their practice in a safe space. Yeah, we did quite a bit of practice. I really enjoyed that, man. And I enjoyed watching people like Kane come through, Wayne as well.
Yeah.
You know, man, some of the guys really stepped up and did a great job, eh?
Yeah,
Meihana, of course, and Murray.
Yep.
Yeah. And us,
bro. Aye. So for anyone, you know, on the verge of flip-flopping whether they should try and get on it or not, you know, feel free to, you know, get in touch with myself or Corey or anyone at Ngā Manu Hou that's done that class. You know, you can even jump in the comments down bottom and ask us some questions if you want, any concerns. I could probably sell you some of my old aramatawa if you want.
Yeah.
For a good price.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely say for most people that are on their Te Reo Māori journey, that ronakitanga class or the year 3 is where you really start to gain that really good level of fluency to be able to whakawhiti kōrero or have a conversation.
Yeah. Woo. This was supposed to be short, bro, but look at that. Because it's such a passion, it's too easy to make these conversations go on.
Aye. Anyway, we probably spoke about ronakitanga more than opikitanga, which we've got our first class on Monday. So, like I said, super excited. I probably have regressed a little, being away from others to kōrero in the past 6 months. So we've had a bit of a 6-month break from our previous class to this one. So really looking forward to turning the screws on sharpening up my reo or language and talking a lot more, to be honest, especially a lot of those difficult sentence patterns, structures, concepts, etc. Yeah.
Well, you could always come to Rumaki class on Saturday, bro. We got a 2-hour Rumaki session at Arrowtown Tennis Club on Saturday from 12 till 2. So, no mai hoki mai.
Yeah, I'd love to. Unfortunately, I'm going up the maunga over in Twizel,
That's right.
Oho. Yeah, with the tamariki. So making the most of that snow up there. And I don't know, maybe I'll practice a few karakia while I'm up on the mountain.
Yeah, good idea, bro. Practice your pepeha. We're going to do pepeha. Got to do pepeha for Audra's class on Monday. So, yeah, you can never practice pepeha enough, eh?
Yeah.
Or karapipiti if that's what you want to give it a crack, bro.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, any closing thoughts here, Hika?
No, I'm just really looking forward to it. Sorry we didn't talk much about Opikitanga. Maybe we have another session for that another day. But, yeah, I guess if I got a whakatauki for this, for me it would be ko te reo kia tika, ko te reo kia rere, ko te reo kia Māori. Sure.
Bye. Oh, well, whānau, thanks for checking in with us again. Hit us a like, subscribe, you know the drill. Any questions, hit us some comments, and we'll catch you next time on The Chew. Mā te wā.
Mā te wā.